This is Salmon Run, part of Splatoon 3 for the Nintendo Switch. While most know Splatoon 3 for its PvP, which is a growing competitive esport in its own right, Salmon Run provides an alternative PvE game mode, which is also taken seriously by some very talented players, and will be showing off the best of the best in today's video. In Salmon Run, your character works for Mr. Grizz, a not at all shady business owner who we shouldn't worry ourselves too much asking questions about. Mr. Grizz charges us with collecting golden eggs from the salmonids, a sentient fish species that surge out of the water to attack us with anything from frying pans, to giant mechs, to laser beams, to mortar launchers, to little spoons. Look, it hurts a lot, okay? Salmon Run gets very hectic, testing the player's ability to mechanically move their character around, make quick decisions about their priorities, and keep themselves and their teammates standing until the wave ends. While most players will hit a difficulty wall well before they reach it, the best of the best have the skills and strategies to play at hazard level max, where both risk and reward are the highest they can possibly be. Today, we'll be watching 4 of the best Salmon Run players on Earth set a world record for this map, Sockeye Station. Being from different places all over the world, they will experience some latency playing together, and this actually impacts their strategy somewhat, as Marty explains.
I'm the host of the room, so I have no luck when picking up eggs. That means that I tend to focus on eggs around the basket to collect them faster.
Each game of Salmon Run has 3 waves players must survive through, with a possible extra boss wave every so often, which they didn't happen to get on the run we'll be seeing. Each wave, the tide can change, leaving more or less of the map accessible, and different kinds of enemies spawn, giving players different ways of collecting golden eggs. For their first wave, they get low tide and a fog wave. Fog obscures players' vision, but it also adds a special boss, the glowing Goldie, which has a random chance of dropping many more than the 3 golden eggs dropped by most bosses. These experienced players quickly assess the weapons they've been given and decide which tasks they'll be best suited to based on what their weapons can do.
In Wave 1, I was assigned the Dynamo Roller. The Dynamo's specialties are painting the ground and taking out small fry. However, it moves incredibly slowly and is bad at taking out stringers and fly fish. So I make sure to stay close to the basket.
Another critical strategy these players employ is luring the bosses as close to the basket as possible, because the less time it takes to score 1 egg, the more eggs can be scored over the course of the wave. After each wave, players are transported back to the starting point, their weapons are shuffled, and they're given about 10 seconds to prepare for the next wave. In the second wave, a system of pipes appear on the map, and players must open the correct one to find a hiding Goldie and attack it to get it to release all the eggs it's holding. An important aspect of the strategy employed by these players is how they handle these enemies, called Snatchers. Snatchers are non-aggressive enemies that fly in to reclaim unattended golden eggs dropped by bosses a set amount of time after they've dropped the eggs. While most players will just splat these right away, high-level players will actually read their positioning to determine which direction they'll leave with the eggs. If their path takes them past the egg basket, players can wait to attack the Snatcher until it's taken the eggs right over the top of the basket, essentially turning them from a nuisance to an egg courier.
So it's important we kill the Goldie and not let it escape when it's a small size, because if it's small, then it'll spawn small, and we end up getting less eggs from it in total.
Players have 2 uses of a randomly chosen special ability that they can use over the course of the 3 waves, shown in this element on the heads-up display. You'll hear the players communicate when they're using these abilities, so their teammates can play off those abilities and know how to pace their use of their own specials.
I'm not gonna use trap.
Oh, let's just from behind.
Okay, next Goldie, making sure we kill it. And at this point, it's just a matter of like getting all the eggs in. We're down to like 15 seconds here. I will be opening the basket gusher though, because in case there's a Goldie here, it's gonna be eggs closer than these are. But there turns out not to be Goldie there, so we gotta just go for the extra.
In the final wave, our players face a Mudmouth eruption. Mudmouths are a special enemy type only encountered in these kinds of waves, defeated by throwing bombs or firing explosive shots like those of the Inkjet special weapon that will be used later, into the mouths of these massive enemy spawn points. As Brian explains, our players have a lot of specials left, so they plan to use them pretty liberally to take out Mudmouths quickly.
We talk about the specials a bit here as well. We have, I believe, 2 Inkjets, Killer Whale and Crab. So we want to make sure that we use them regularly and space them out throughout the wave, especially because this is the last wave.
While this run is, of course, executed better than just about anyone else is capable of, it's also worth noting that there is an element of luck involved in the massive haul they're able to bring back from the Salmonids. Different kinds of waves lend themselves to higher or lower egg counts. So one reason this run goes as well as it does is the combination of wave types the game rolled for them.
The luck that we needed to get that amount of eggs is pretty abnormal. 2 high tide nights is already unusual. It's pretty rare to get. But also, with low tide fog in it, it's very uncommon to get this combination of waves. Not to mention, high tide Mudmouths is one of the best waves in the game, and low tide fog is really good too. High tide seeking is pretty good, so when all 3 of those are combined, you get a score like that if you play well and you get good specials.
So while they've scored a tremendously impressive world record, notice that the players are quick to point out flaws in their play, optimizations there are yet to make, and more than just their humility, notice how interested they all are in pushing the game to its absolute limits.
As a whole, I'm pretty happy with the run. There were of course plenty of minor mistakes here and there, such as early goalie kills or the Mudmouth kills could have been a bit faster too, but nothing really that had a major impact on the X score, I would say. I think 241 is something to be glad with. To put it somewhat into perspective, in Splatoon 2 my highest X score I ever got was 239. Something very little people ever surpassed, and even that was a record that stood for 2 years. So already breaking that number in Splatoon 3 in less than 2 months is something I'm very happy with. But more importantly, I think it really goes to show how much more the limit of this mod can be pushed still. If I have to speak for myself here, there's a lot that I can learn. I'm still misjudging my survival chances in this new and admittedly more deadly version of Salmon Run. And it's these exact deaths that cause some of the other games to not go as well. So while I'm glad with the score we got in this particular run, it's clear that there's a lot in this game that can be improved still, which is what I'm really looking forward to.
In the end, we managed to deliver 241 golden eggs. If we really pushed ourselves, we might have been able to get 10 more, or perhaps even 20. I want to continue playing this game and improving even more.